It always begins with a map. A piece of aged gazelle's skin discovered in 1929 inside the forgotten archives of Topkapi Palace. When scholars unrolled it, slowly, almost fearfully, they saw coastlines that should not exist. The Piri Reis map, a chart drawn in 1513, centuries before Antarctica was officially discovered. Yet it showed what looked unmistakably like the ice-free coastline of Queen Maud Land. And that single impossibility was only the first thread of a much larger tapestry. Antarctica, this silent continent of wind and ice, has always guarded secrets. Whispers of ancient civilizations, geometric structures buried beneath the glaciers, strange anomalies captured by satellites, and above all, the haunting testimony of Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd, whose 1946-47 mission, Operation Highjump, remains one of the most mysterious naval expeditions of the 20th century. Tonight, we descend into those mysteries, not as sensationalists, but as explorers, guided by fragments, maps, diaries, and the cold, razor-sharp silence of Antarctica itself. Feel the wind. Hear the distant crack of ice splitting under unimaginable pressure. Smell the metallic cold, that sterile air untouched by time. Because beneath your feet, under 3 kilometers of ancient ice, something waits, something built, something forgotten. And tonight, we follow the map. To understand Antarctica's mystery, we begin with a man, Ahmed Muhyiddin Piri, that are known as Piri Reis, an Ottoman admiral, a scholar, a cartographer obsessed with gathering knowledge older than empires. His 1513 map was not created from nothing. It was compiled from older sources, Arab navigators, lost Greek charts, and even a fragment he believed came from Christopher Columbus. But the true enigma lies in the southern portion of the map. A vast landmass, no ice, detailed bays and peninsulas, a coastline that matches modern seismic surveys of Antarctica's bedrock. For decades, historians dismissed this as coincidence. But as ice-penetrating radar improved, the alignment became harder to ignore. Some researchers proposed an astonishing possibility that Piri Reis was copying ancient maps created by a pre-glacial civilization, a culture capable of charting Antarctica before it froze more than 6,000 years ago. Others suggest a lost maritime people, perhaps pre-Phoenicians, sailing oceans we assume they never crossed. But the unsettling clues come from Piri Reis himself. In the margins of his map, he writes that his sources were older than Alexander and derived from a time when the world was newly divided. Was that poetic metaphor? Or an echo of knowledge humanity has forgotten? And then there is Admiral Byrd. Operation Highjump was enormous, far too enormous for a simple training exercise. 4,700 men, 13 ships, 33 aircraft, a fleet that resembled an invasion force sent to a land of ice. Officially, the mission was to test equipment in extreme cold. Unofficially, Byrd hinted at something else. During interviews in Chile, still preserved in local newspapers, the admiral allegedly spoke of craft capable of flying from pole to pole at incredible speeds, and of a threat so powerful it could endanger the security of the United States. Historians debate these quotes endlessly, but one fact remains. Highjump ended months ahead of schedule, and several logbooks are still heavily redacted. Combine that with modern satellite imagery, revealing triangular, perfectly symmetrical shapes rising from the snow in Queen Maud Land. 3 structures aligned like pyramids. Geologists argue they are natural formations. Architects point to perfect 60-degree slopes. Mathematicians note alignments seen in ancient pyramid complexes. So we are left with a question few dare to ask. Did Byrd see something? Were these structures already known to the U.S. military? And were they the real reason Operation Highjump was launched? If Antarctica truly hides pyramids, if ancient mapmakers somehow charted an ice-free continent, then our understanding of human history is off by thousands of years.
It hints at a civilization with advanced navigation, global travel, astronomical awareness, and a knowledge of the poles long before modern science. Some researchers imagine a lost global culture erased by the end of the last ice age. Others argue that Antarctica was once temperate, home to settlements later swallowed by shifting crust and freezing climate. And what of Byrd? If even a fraction of his rumored testimony is true, then perhaps humanity encountered something or someone in that frozen desert. A memory preserved in myths, rediscovered through fragments of ancient maps, and hidden, intentionally or not, beneath a continent of ice. Antarctica is a blank page, a page the world has barely begun to read. Every civilization leaves clues, some in stone, some in ice, some in maps that survive against all odds. So tonight we ask, not as skeptics, not as believers, but as explorers, what lies beneath the last untouched continent on Earth? And why, after thousands of years, does it still try to remain hidden?